Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and nothing like doing a few hundred bales of hay first thing in the morning. So we've got our first load that came in about a month ago, and then this is the second run. So we've got the barn almost filled up. We're going to put the other ones outside and then tarp them over. It's likely that we're going to be using those before winter anyway, and we'll haul some back down this way. So the boys are the boys and girls here, Levi and Meadow. Hey, and they're going to be right by the gate, right by the electric fence over here, and they're just going to be watching us the whole time. Oh, Carl's here. Carl's here, right? I get you two mixed up sometimes. It's like having lots of kids, calling the wrong one the wrong name. And these are kids for sure. Billy, leave that poor tree alone. I guess that is already dead. As long as he leaves the rest of it alone. And we wonder why they break their horns, right? So Billy's only lost the tip of his horn, whereas Carl has lost a little bit more. Carl, hey. You used to have such beautiful horns. Whack. You know, you wonder what they get out of that. Billy, what did that tree do to you? So 300 bales in what, 20 seconds? That ain't so bad. Unfortunately, it actually took about 45 minutes. So it wasn't so bad because it was outside. The first load we did this year is inside the barn. This one is mainly outside, but we tarped it, and we'll likely use that, store the rest of it down here by our rabbit hutch. We have another enclosure that we usually feed the horses during the winter months. There, just keep it out of the snow. So I'm in the barn, and there's not too many animals in here, but what we do have are some rabbits that came in. What has happened here with these guys, you'll see there's a mama here, and I believe the other mama is hiding in that container right there. Now, these guys are from a family that are moving. And weren't able to have the rabbits where they currently are. So you may not see them in the next video next week, as they may have gone back to their home. So we had them in these smaller cages which they were brought in with, but it was just too small. You can see these guys running around and really enjoying it and lounging. So we moved them back into this area here, and they'll likely be with us for about a week or so. And it looks like we have an egg down here. Let's get under here and grab that. I'll take that. Is that yours? So this hen here has been kicking this broody hen out of her nest box, and she is actually sitting on a bunch of guinea eggs. So we've hatched out a number of clutches this year with these broody hens, just because the guinea fowl, which are, there's one over there, there's one eating over there, they're just not very broody. So they've been just laying eggs and not doing anything with them. So we've been collecting them and putting them in here, which has been working great. So we've had, I think, 2 clutches so far. These are the guinea fowl out here, and sometimes we have to keep an eye out for eggs. They'll lay them in the weirdest places. They'll find some place, and just randomly. So they're not laying them in nests. And if they were, then we would leave them there and let them sit on them. But they seem to just scatter them all over the place. So it looks like all of the guinea keets are piled up in one area. So these are the young. So let's just go in here and have a peek without scaring them. So there, it looks like they're all right there. Sizes, you can see large, small, and there's a mama that's being very protective. Running around. So all of them are enclosed. We haven't had any problems with ticks this year. So we haven't, they're great for ticks. That's their main diet. We haven't had a wood tick on our yard in a very long time. The last time we actually had one on wasn't so long ago, but it turns out we brought it on yard. So these guys are excellent in tick control. Another reason we don't have wood ticks is because the goats and sheep, they will clear the brush right down. So all in this area here, as well as way into the back, you can actually see right through the brush there. And it's all clear. So there's no long grass, and the long grass is where the wood ticks can be found. So as soon as we finished off the hay, we brought some out here for the animals, get them all fed. And there's Glenn, poor Glenn. So Glenn's a Canada goose who came in from somebody who found a gosling. And there's a couple feathers sticking out of the wing. They're just kind of bent. It looks like they will likely either correct themselves, or when they fall out, the new ones will grow in. He had what's called angel wing, which would have hindered his flight. He may fly south this year, or he may fly next year. Hard to say. Pond's looking pretty good. We've had some water that's come in, and my telltale rock here, the water was a little bit lower about a week ago, I think last weekend even. Water's come up slightly because we have had some rain. So that's good. This is all duckweed here on the pond. It usually starts to grow in around mid-July, and the animals will eat that. Look at this. Are you guys all relaxing? It's gonna be a hot day today. So Moira, this looks like, yeah, that's Willow there. It's hard to tell with them separated because Willow's a little bit smaller, and JJ, which is over here, is a little bit larger. So I have to always go in for comparison. They don't have any facial features that I can tell. They're like a clone copy of each other, and it's just size. So we may have to try to figure out exactly which one's which. Moira and Onyx. Hi, Moira. Yeah, that's normal. And Sheldon, you're inside. What are you doing inside? So this is Sheldon's little house. I caught him actually this morning, right before we did hay. He was out and he was all frisky and he was running around playing. There he goes. All that energy. Sheldon! Sheldon! What are you doing? Are you happy? Oh, Sheldon. And the girls are just watching him. Fernando! Yes! Look at you! So Fernando doesn't look like, well, he doesn't look like he's doing too well. Looks like he went out and partied all night last night. He's got one old feather sticking up, and he's got all of his new feathers coming in. So he is going through his molting. You can see right down here, he's also growing out his new feathers. They're basically a bunch of little straws. Here, show me your chest, buddy, on both sides. Whoops. On both sides. And they look like little paintbrushes. So give it a couple more weeks. He's got some new feathers coming in here on the back. He goes through this at the same time every year, it seems. end of summer. He'll go through the molting, and it's just to grow out all those nice feathers for mating season, isn't it, buddy? Although you don't have any girls. We had a couple girls for you. Yeah, we got a couple years ago, but no, he didn't like them. He prefers wooing the humankind, don't you? You're a silly bird. Here, turn around so we can see your butt. Turn around. So his feathers back here are also little paintbrushes, and all these little straws, okay, is where the feathers grow out of. So you'll see a transformation with Fernando in the weeks to come. Java. I guess that's one way to do it. Just lie down and eat, right? Oh yeah, you got everything you need right there. He does that quite often, where normally these guys are standing and eating. So we've got the 4 alpaca, we've got Paula, we have Shanzi, we have Jasper, which is right there, and of course we have Java. Yeah. Everybody else is doing great. Boo, or Boo Boo, which is right here. Hi! What are you doing? This is the one that Tiana raised. So it hasn't quite worked into the rest of the flock, and may not. It'll take some time. She is bonded to Tiana. Tiana can come out and just runs right up to her. And the other geese, I guess, are in the back. So speaking of the back, I haven't really showed you guys the back area for some time. So I want to show you that, just to get an idea on what it looks like and what we've done with the place. So we bought this property, well, it would have been 1997, completely treed. There had been nothing on it, nothing built on it. We think that there was possibly cattle here at one time, as we dug up a whole bunch of barbed wire from around the outside of the property. So it took us a few years to do some clearing. We bought a mobile home and moved that out, and then kind of started to build our dream. And one of the areas that, well, that has needed some tender, loving care is with poplar. There's some oak here as well, and there's some other trees that are around here. But these poplar trees, they tend to just grow up and just fall over. So you get a lot of deadfall that happens. Now the goats and sheep and alpaca and all those animals, they come out here regularly to do some cleanup, which is great because it then looks like this. Now we have since, you know, raked up in piles these areas. And you can see right back through the property, really everywhere. So I'm kind of in the middle of the back area. You can see the railway tracks back there that run across the back of the property. And you can actually see right over to where it's green over on that side, which is that property line. So there's some areas that still need a little bit of cleanup, but the majority of the back area is done. And I came out here the other day, and I hadn't been way out back for some time. So I was kind of amazed on how much, especially in this area over here, how well it's cleared. So I guess if you're buying property and it is, or you do need clearing because it is overgrown, you know, getting some electric fence and, you know, even just temporary posts. We've got temporary posts that we want to build up and eventually get those more permanent. But it does its job really well. So throw a sheep and a goat in there, get a pair so that they're not lonely, and they'll hang out together and just start munching away. So excellent way to clear your property. So when we originally put up the electric fence, we put it up as easily as possible. There was some naturally clear areas, and there was one section on the east side of the property where we thought it actually was the property line, but then realized afterwards that it actually went on a slight angle, and we owned some property that was on the other side. So this was kind of a natural cleared area here, and you can see what looks like tire tracks. So at some point, somebody was driving back here for whatever reason, but this basically runs right through here. So this was a naturally cleared area. We ran the electric fence across here, but this is what it looked like before. So you can just see how dense it is. So all of this is still our property here, but we just haven't done anything with it. Now, if you watched last weekend's video, Gallagher sent us the smart fence, which is a nice way to temporarily close off or cordon off certain areas. So what we might do is use it to run it through the property line and then open this electric fence up here, which is just the temporary fencing, and get them in here to start clearing that. So we'll leave that for another video, but that's one of the things on the docket that we want to do. And now a word from our sponsor, Reolink. So Reolink has been sending me cameras for the past couple years now, and really I haven't been using them as traditional security cameras. I've been using them more so as baby monitors, I guess you could say. Now, of course, these are meant to be out on your front porch to, watch and see what's happening. There is two-way communication with them, so you can talk through it and speak to the delivery guy, maybe if he's dropping off a parcel, things of that nature. We do have a couple wired security systems out and around here, but these kind of are set apart because of their wireless capabilities. Not only do they have a battery and you can plug it in if you're near a wire, but they also come with a solar panel. Now, I've used the Argus PT, which is the pan and tilt camera, for the past year in a tree down by the end of my driveway. I've been able to connect to the wireless system here, and it stayed charged throughout the end of last summer and winter just by using the solar panel. So it's worked out really good. You may have seen from other videos where I stick them in and maybe I'll check and see what the flycatchers or robins are doing underneath the deck, and I'll set it up there, and I've made a couple videos on that. So when I received this, I was expecting, what I expect. One thing I wasn't expecting was this guy here actually does time lapses, and the time lapse of the sunrise at the beginning, and of course the time lapse of the hay. Those were all done on this camera, and this camera actually records at higher resolution than what this video is currently running at. So it is a 4 megapixel or 2K resolution. I'm actually only filming this in 1080, so 1080 lines of resolution versus the 2K. So it is a good camera. It does have a siren on it. It's got a light. It's got nighttime color mode, so you can shut off the infrared on it, and you can actually do a color night if there is sufficient light. There has to still be some kind of light. But overall, I'm pleased with it. What I'll do is I'll leave a link down in the description. I don't have any kind of 10% code on this. They just sent this to me to have a look at, and I do make very good use of them. So if you are interested in the Reolink or a camera in general, check out their website. They are a decent camera, especially in the wireless range. If you're looking for something more secured, something that is wired that records continuously, I wouldn't go with something like this. I would go with a wired system, but they actually have wired systems on their website as well. So anyway, that's the Reolink, and we're gonna head out to the garden and see what Tara's doing. Wow, it's warmed up since I was out here, and that doesn't take long. Oh, look at this. Cucamelons. I'm only allowed to take the ones up high that Tara can't reach. So Tara's out here. She's working on the garden. I did a little snapshot, I think, on Instagram or Facebook, showing what we are doing out here to transform the garden. There she is. Doing the tomatoes, I see.
It's like a jungle.
Yeah, look at that. Ooh, there's some red ones in there.
Yeah, so after a couple days it looks like this. So now what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm cutting the tops too. So like when you look at this and you see the flowers here, because we're getting to the end of our season, so I don't want any more tomatoes after that. We'll just let that grow. So I cut the top little plant off.
Okay.
And I'll leave a couple leaves, but now we're focusing on ripen and grow the fruit. So I know I saw a few red ones back.
And we had some toasted tomato sandwiches earlier. What was that, 2 days ago? Yesterday?
I know. So, I mean, I like it. I mean, yes, it's tedious. I like it. But, no, it's cool. And I mean, there's a few people that are like, well, if they grow that big, but you know what? There's lots of fruit. It's cool. They're massive. But some of them have, like these are all fallen down. So these actually are another probably 4 feet high. And I don't mind them falling down. It's strong enough that it holds it. And the tomatoes, they just keep growing up. So it's like they fall down and then they grow up again. So it works. It works, but yeah.
Now you're putting down some weed barrier.
I am. I'm putting, and I like it. It'll keep the raspberries under control. Weeds, the bugs, a lot less bugs since I put it down. Even just, this was like 3 days ago. A lot less of the tiny little bugs. The bees still get it, but not the tiny little mosquitoes and bugs. Sorry, I see a big canola. The nice thing is too is the fruit will be able to come out onto it, and it likes the heat, and it'll keep it from rotting too, which is nice. So those are watermelon. Did you see the water? Did you go through it? Did you see the watermelon at the inside?
I did not. I'll have to take a look at that. So
now, if you want to take in, like, if you want to grow tomatoes in the winter too, remember that this is a whole plant, so you can just cut it off, stick it in the dirt, and it'll grow in the house. So yeah, look at all those tomatoes.
Yeah, there's a few in there anyway, so that'll be good.
Oh, there's a yellow one. Oh, I didn't notice the yellow ones.
Oh yeah, I see them down in there.
So there's like a little one in here. It can
So
come. Now I'll take off all the little guys.
Are these yellow tomatoes?
Yeah.
They are, okay.
Pear tomatoes.
Well, they look like little pears, that's
they look
for sure.
so ready. Oh, they do look like little pears.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a little dust from the water, but.
Yeah.
Right?
The little smile and giggle.
There's one for you, hon.
Is there? Oh, nice.
Right? Those are cute.
I was just looking at the cucamelons on the way in, saying that I was only allowed to have the top ones.
Yes. Yeah.
So this area here doesn't have fabric on it yet. This is some old fabric here that she's put down. So she's going to put it down all of the areas. She does have it in the back area there, or the front area, I guess, the entrance.
Sorry, this plant doesn't get as much water, so
Our rain barrel.
Oh, they're all looking a little
peaked. Looking a little dry.
Got water.
So it's
but these are like,
oh yeah,
these are ready.
So what are those?
Apple crisp cucumbers.
Oh wow.
So I'll be able to harvest a bunch. That'll relax the water need a bit too.
Those are neat. That'll be interesting. Are those going to make it into the house?
No, probably not.
Well, then I better take one because I want to try it.
Right? They're really good. Yeah, I'll throw some water. Yeah,
now, how are the broccoli doing? Not broccoli, Brussels sprouts.
So these at full growth will be about 3 inches. That one looks like it got a little stunted. I don't know.
Because last year we grew them and we had to Google it, and they grow on the base.
Oh, they need water. What, did the water not come on last night?
So, yeah, there's something going on down there, but usually it's down at the base. So we haven't really been having too much luck with them.
Well, you gotta grow them, you gotta try, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're still learning. Sorry, you gotta watch where I step in here.
Yeah, squish.
Right?
Yeah, there's a few of them. I don't think you're gonna eat all those.
Oh, there's another red one here. That's the first red one out of these.
Are those romaine? They almost look romaine.
Well, I kind of buried the label. Each one of these is a different type.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to try a different type, so those are from Patricia.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you see the beans?
I did not.
I walked through there this morning.
I've seen the beans, but I didn't specifically look today.
Water.
Yeah, no, look at all the...
Oh, it's another one.
Yeah.
Well, and look at the celery regrowing. Remember what I said about the celery?
Yeah, and I showed that in the last video
those
where it
peppers
was
that got
just
eaten by
tiny.
grasshoppers or something.
Yeah. Well, we found the canola keeps away some of the bugs.
Okay, I have to keep these in the shade unless you're going to take them in with you.
I'll take them in.
Will you?
For sure.
Okay. Okay, yeah, look. Okay, squirrel.
Squirrel. Tara has many squirrel moments.
I just get so excited.
Yeah, so they're growing right through.
Look at me and my beans.
Oh, yeah.
And they all hang down and grow down. It's so cool. So those I'll have to harvest today too. The more you harvest, the more they produce. So, right? Look
Yeah,
at
well,
these
there's some pretty
tomatoes.
big ones there too.
I thought that was it. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, I just about made a bad word up.
She gets so excited in the garden.
Look.
Yeah, nice.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's grown a fair amount since there's
one?
another. Yeah.
Oh, there's another chew.
Another guy in here, and there's one here.
Oh my! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 little suckers. Yay!
Okay, so you've put it down in this area here as well. So Tara bought some, this is called geotextile, or you could say landscaping fabric, but it's the industrial stuff. This is the stuff that's used on highways. So it's a lot thicker of material and a fair amount more when buying it. So it will last for some time.
Look at that.
So the idea here, Tara, is you haven't quite figured out where you're going to put.
I think that's where I'm going to put them. They'll run probably to about here. I'm going to move the picnic table, like the table, into the shade. Maybe do a rock patio because we have those blocks that I got years ago. And it'll just like, I can put them over here instead of storing them. And if I ever want them, I just use them.
Yeah, and then you're also going to put them in where those bales
so far
are.
all these steel containers will go either side of the greenhouse, and the center row will be eliminated.
Okay.
So that I can still get my wagon down there. But I can, if I want to, which if you look at the zucchini over there, it's in a tiny little bit of dirt. So what I can do, because I can still grow up, right? But I can do a small X in the fabric and plant it right in the fabric, and it'll go up.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just won't use the bales. I'll use the actual ground, which is what I want to ideally get back into. I don't like the straw bales.
Yeah, and the whole idea here is we will use these containers here. We've got a bunch of them. We're going to line them across and then put this in it and then top it with good soil. So there's still some compost. Yeah. But we don't want to do that while these watermelons are growing, correct?
Right. Don't mess with what's growing.
Yeah. So we'll have to work
and I'll
on
get
that.
a load of soil and then I'll mix it. This will go in the bottom because it retains moisture if it's covered, but not if it's not covered.
Yeah.
And then I'll do a mix of sandy loam with that garden starter mix and manure, because the garden starter mix is really it keeps the air in the soil, so that it's not tight. And same with the sandy loam. And of course the manure is like gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is it from all of us here at the 10 Acre Woods. Wishing you the best in the week to come, and we hope to see you next week. Take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.